Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us on The W. My name is Tracy Mathews and I'll be your host for today. The Lotus gives us a glimpse into a family's experience of providence, revealing how faith can carry us through adverse and fortunate times. It is my great pleasure to be joined here today by Pastor Moy Mendez, Executive Director of the Hope Center in Blue Island, Illinois. Moy is also InterVarsity's campus minister to the Booth School of Business and the Kellogg School of Management, as well as a city network leader for Made to Flourish. Moy, I'm so glad you're with us here today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tracy. The pleasure's all mine.
Can you help us maybe get a sense for how God might feel, what he might see as he looks at Hector and H&M Design and all that's been happening?
First thing that comes to mind is my son. I think of my son because he's made in my image. He looks like me. Mm-hmm. I feel that in the same way, God looks at us when we reflect his image, especially in the area of work, because that's something so near and dear to God's heart. God is a worker, we are a worker. God is a creator, we are a creator. When I see the story of Hector, I see somebody who's living out the very image of the God who created him. And it almost wells me up with joy to know that that might be a similar feeling that God experiences, because I experience something similar to that.
One of the things I love about this film is that it shows us the broader community, the broader context for Hector's work, right? You get to see him interact with customers, you get to see him interact with the guy at Home Depot, his family. You know, as you look about not only the work itself, but the context, the bigger picture of his work, what do you see? What does it show us about God's intent?
Wow, I see God's design all over it.
Yeah.
You know, at the Hope Center, we have a garden, and it's a self-pollinating garden, and we show our community how these pollinators help us and we help them. But we create a little ecosystem around this garden where everybody wins, and that's what I see in Hector's story. He's going to Home Depot, he's asking for Sherwin-Williams paint, he's getting wood, he's getting nails, he needs a compressor. He's going on Facebook Marketplace, speaking and marketing to the broader community on Facebook, runs into a pastor, by a door, and then here we are today.
You just see all those ripple effects, and everybody wins.
Exactly.
You know, how do you see Hector's view of value creation, or his understanding of the value he's creating?
It seems as if Hector doesn't think too much about it because he's so focused on creating a pristine product for his customers. It seems that that is his main goal. Yeah. And because that's his main goal, everything seems to flow from that. He's making a beautiful door because he has the divine in mind.
You see that mindset in Hector's story, right? This whole for my family,
right?
I will forge a new path.
Right.
That willingness to lean in. You know, some of it is kind of like, I can't believe it happened. Right. And then there's a lot of, it's hard work. And I was coming home working from my other job, and then I stayed at this till 10 o'clock. Yeah. There is that essence of I will do this.
Another part of the story that impacts me is the fact that we all have stories that shape who we are and how people view us and how we view ourselves. What I like about Hector's story is that now you're seeing Latinos move up this socioeconomic ladder. There's social mobility taking place. Yes. And I could really appreciate that. And so could his son. Yes. Because that narrative is now changing his son's worldview of his potential and what he could do, not only for himself, but for his future generation.
I love that. I mean, you see in Hector's face this kind of awe, I never knew I could do this kind of thing. Right. Yeah. And you just picture with his son, it's probably a little less shocking.
Right.
That he can do all these other things he didn't know. I love that.
Yeah, not only is it impacting his son, but Hector's name is plastered all over Facebook. Hector Ortega. You can't get around that. So you see Hector Ortega. Oh, who is this guy? He does a really fine work. He creates a really fine product.
So he's not cheap, but he's really good.
Exactly. And he's now an exemplary leader for Latinos. Now Latinos look at him and they say, oh, well, if he could have a business, I could have a business
He shows them the way. He's that model that allows us to see it the way.
So back to this value creating. So it's more than just a door. Yes. He's creating value for people.
It's a whole new paradigm.
Yeah, exactly.
For how to approach it.
Yeah. How do you quantify that value? You can't.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. Moy, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your insight, your knowledge, just your presence and your story with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And to our audience here, thank you so much for joining us today on The W We hope you're walking away just as inspired and motivated to go forth in your daily work as we are. Until next time.